You're there right in front of the screen and you see the setup. It's clean, it's clear, exactly what you were expecting. You enter, the trade starts moving in your favor, small profit, you feel that vibration in your chest. Now comes the part you didn't plan for. Doubt. What if it reverses? You look at the chart again. The next candle hesitates. Your finger is already hovering over the button. You close. Small profit. Relief. Mission accomplished. 5 minutes later, price explodes in the direction you predicted and hits the target you had set, the target you abandoned. You feel that tightness. It's not anger, it's worse. It's the confirmation that you were right, but you couldn't hold on. And then, without even noticing, you're already looking for the next trade. Not because the setup is there, but because you need to get back that feeling of being right. You need to prove something to yourself, and that's where it starts. This is one of the most destructive psychological patterns in trading, the inability to hold winning trades combined with the compulsion to get back in. You don't lose because of lack of technical knowledge. You don't lose because the market is against you. You lose because you can't sit still. You lose because every price movement triggers an emotional urgency you haven't learned to control yet. And that urgency has a name: emotional lack of control. And that lack of control has a destination: overtrading. Overtrading isn't just trading too much, it's trading driven by impulses you don't even recognize as impulses. It's entering a trade because the last one frustrated you. It's doubling the risk because you're sure this time. It's jumping from one strategy to another because that first loss of the day made you question everything. It's becoming a hostage to a cycle where each trade is no longer about opportunity, but about relief. Relief from anxiety, relief from boredom, relief from the feeling that you're missing something while the market moves and you're on the sidelines. You think you're making strategic decisions, but you're just reacting. And every reaction sinks you deeper. The human mind wasn't designed to handle the constant uncertainty of the market. It was designed to seek patterns, anticipate dangers, and above all, seek immediate rewards. When you see that small profit on the screen, every cell in your brain screams, take it now, lock it in, don't risk losing it, because losing something you already have hurts far more than never having had it. That's loss aversion, and it's been wired into you since you were a kid and learned that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. The problem is that in trading, that logic destroys you because the biggest profits require you to hold, to endure volatility, to trust your plan even when every fiber of your being wants to get out. And when you get out early, what happens? Momentary relief, dopamine, you closed in profit, you won. But that relief is a lie, because right after comes the frustration of watching price keep going. And that frustration doesn't teach you patience. It teaches you that you're weak. You can't do it. And to compensate for that feeling of failure, you go looking for the next trade fast. Because you need to prove you can. You need to feel in control. But every time you do that, you're training your brain to act on impulse. You're reinforcing the pattern. You're building an identity as a reactive trader, not a strategic one. Overtrading doesn't come out of nowhere. It's the symptom of a deeper problem. You don't know how to handle your emotions. You don't know how to wait. You don't know how to sit still. You don't know how to accept that real trading is 90% doing nothing and 10% precise execution. You've been conditioned to believe that constant action equals productivity, that if you're not trading, you're losing. But the market doesn't reward action. It rewards precision. It rewards patience. It rewards those who can stay quiet when there's nothing to do and act with conviction when a real opportunity appears. And then you get on this roller coaster. You trade, you win, you feel good. You trade again, you lose, you feel bad. You trade to recover, you lose more. Now you're trading out of desperation. Every trade is an attempt to fix the previous one. Every entry is an emotional response disguised as technical analysis. You look at the chart and see supports, resistances, patterns. But the truth is, you already decided to enter before you analyzed anything. You're just looking for confirmation of what your emotion already decided. And that's not trading, that's addiction. Addiction to action. Addiction to trying to control the uncontrollable. Addiction to the illusion that the next trade will give you the feeling you're chasing. But the problem goes even deeper than it seems. Because overtrading isn't just about trading too much. It's about who you become when you trade too much. Every time you enter a trade on impulse, you're telling yourself, my plan doesn't matter. My rules don't matter. What matters is this urgency I feel right now. And over time, that becomes your identity. You become the trader who can't trust his own plan. The trader who changes strategies every week. The trader who always has an excuse for why this time was different. And the market, this relentless mirror, shows you exactly who you are. Not through your intentions, but through your results. Let's be clear about one thing. The market doesn't care about your emotional state. It won't wait for you to calm down. It won't give you a discount because you're having a rough day. It simply exists. And within that total indifference, you need to find a way to trade that doesn't depend on how you're feeling. Because if your trading depends on you being okay, you've already lost. You won't be okay every day. You'll have days of frustration, days of boredom, days of euphoria. And if each of those states makes you trade differently, you don't have a strategy. You have an emotional roulette wheel. The professional trader understands this. He knows emotions will show up, fear will show up, greed will show up, FOMO will show up. The difference is he doesn't act on those emotions. He recognizes them, observes them, and keeps following the plan. Because the plan wasn't made in a moment of emotion, it was made in a moment of clarity. When you're calm, you know exactly what to do, where to enter, where to put the stop, where to put the target, how much to risk. You know everything. But when you're in the trade, when real money is on the line, when every tick moves your stomach, all that knowledge vanishes. And what's left? Impulse. And impulse always leads to overtrading. How many times have you opened the chart with no intention of trading, just to take a look, and ended up entering a trade you hadn't planned? How many times have you said just one more trade today and ended up doing 5? How many times have you had a clear risk plan and after a loss doubled the position size because you needed to get it back? Every single one of those times you weren't trading. You were reacting. And reacting in the market is the fastest path to account blow up. Here's what happens in your brain. When you close a trade in profit, even a small one, you get a hit of dopamine, that chemical that makes you feel good. Victory, achievement, validation, your brain loves it. And like any drug, it wants more. So you go looking for the next trade. Not because the opportunity is there, but because you want that feeling again. And when you lose, the opposite happens, pain, frustration. And your brain, desperate to avoid that pain, pushes you into the next trade, hoping to turn the bad feeling into relief. That's revenge trading. And revenge trading is just a form of overtrading. The cycle goes like this. You trade on impulse, you win or lose, you feel intense emotion, you look for the next trade to repeat the pleasure or avoid the pain. You trade again and again and again, until you look at your account at the end of the day or the week and realize you traded 20 times, won 12, but lost money, because the 8 losses were bigger than the 12 wins, because you didn't respect risk reward, because you entered mediocre setups, because you didn't wait, because you couldn't sit still. And the worst part, you know it, you know you traded too much, but you can't stop. And you know why? Because you still haven't understood that the real game of trading isn't making quick money. It's surviving long enough for compound interest and consistency to work in your favor. It's having a small edge and repeating it hundreds, thousands of times. It's understanding that you don't need to make a lot on every trade. You need to make a little more than you lose consistently for years. But that requires something most traders never develop: patience, discipline, and above all, emotional control. Imagine 2 traders, both have the same strategy, same technical knowledge, same win rate, 60%, same risk reward, 1.2. On paper, both should have the same results. But the first trader trades 50 times a month, the second trades 10 times a month. Guess which one is profitable at the end of the year? The second. Because he only enters when the opportunity is truly there, when the setup is perfect, when all the factors line up. The first one, he trades all the time. Perfect setups, mediocre setups, bad setups, everything becomes an excuse to get in. And in the end, even with 60% wins, he loses money because quantity is not quality. And in trading, quality is everything. You need to understand an uncomfortable truth. The market doesn't beat you. You beat yourself. Every time you enter a trade out of boredom, FOMO, frustration, or euphoria, you're sabotaging yourself. Every time you ignore your plan, you're saying you don't trust yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, why should the market reward you? The market rewards consistency, discipline, patience, not intelligence, not speed, not boldness. It rewards those who can follow a simple process in a boring, repetitive, emotionless way for long enough. The amateur trader trades based on the emotion of the moment. He sees a strong move and thinks, I need to be in this. He sees a loss and thinks, I need to get it back now. He sees other traders posting profits and thinks, I'm missing out. Everything is urgency. Everything is now. Everything is reaction. The professional trader, he sees the same move and thinks, does this fit my plan? If yes, he enters. If not, he stays out. No drama, no emotion, no FOMO, because he knows the market will always offer opportunities, today, tomorrow, next week, and he'd rather wait for the right opportunity than force the wrong one. The difference between the two isn't talent, it isn't luck, it's mindset. The amateur treats trading like an action game. The professional treats it like a waiting game. The amateur wants to be right on every trade. The professional wants to be right over the long term. The amateur measures success by how many trades he made today. The professional measures success by how many trades he avoided. And that difference in perspective is what separates those who survive from those who disappear. Now think about this. How many times have you had a profitable week and on Friday given back all the profit in 2 or 3 impulsive trades? How many times have you had an amazing month and on the last day, out of greed or boredom, wiped out all the progress? That's not lack of knowledge. That's lack of control. And lack of control in trading is fatal. because you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't have emotional control, you will lose, always. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Overtrading puts you on a roller coaster because it disconnects you from reality. When you're trading on impulse, you lose sight of risk, you lose sight of probability, you lose sight of statistics. Everything becomes black or white. This trade will work or it won't, and if it doesn't, the next one will make up for it. And if that one doesn't, the next one will. You're always one trade behind, always trying to recover, always chasing. And while you're in that desperate chase, the professional trader is calm, waiting for the perfect setup, entering with confidence, managing risk precisely, and exiting without hesitation, whether in profit or loss. Do you know what separates winners from losers in trading? It's not the ability to win. Everyone wins sometimes. It's the ability to lose well, to accept the loss, to close at the stop without resentment, to not seek revenge, to not fall apart emotionally. Because in trading, losses will happen. A lot. Even with the best strategy, you'll lose 40%, 50%, sometimes 60% of your trades. And if every loss throws you into an emotional spiral that leads to overtrading, you're doomed, no matter how good you are technically. And here's the paradox. The more you trade, the less you make. Because every additional trade dilutes your edge. Every impulsive entry is an entry without edge. And edge is everything. Edge is the only reason any trader makes money. It's not luck, it's not intuition, it's statistical advantage repeated over time, and overtrading destroys it because you start trading situations where you have no advantage at all. You're just gambling, hoping, and the market doesn't reward hope. The trader who wins isn't the one who trades the most. It's the one who trades the best. It's not the one who's always in front of the screen. It's the one who knows when to stay out. It's not the one who chases every opportunity. It's the one who picks only the very best. And that, the ability to say no, to resist temptation, to endure boredom, to accept that today isn't the day, is the most valuable skill you can develop, more than any indicator, more than any chart pattern, more than any complex strategy. Want to know the secret? There isn't one. The secret is boring. It's obvious. It's frustrating. The secret is have a plan, follow the plan, repeat. That's it. But nobody wants to hear that because it's too simple. It's not exciting. It doesn't promise quick riches. It doesn't feed the ego. And so people keep searching. They keep jumping from strategy to strategy. They keep overtrading. They keep losing, and they keep blaming the market. But the market isn't at fault. It's just showing you who you are. So what do you do now? How do you get off this roller coaster? First, acknowledge it. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying just one more trade. Stop justifying your impulsive entries with after-the-fact technical analysis. Look at your trading history. Count how many trades you made last week. How many actually followed your plan? How many were pure impulse? Be honest, brutally honest, because you can't fix what you won't admit is broken. Second, create barriers. If you don't trust yourself not to overtrade, make it physically hard to trade. Limit the number of trades per day. Write down every setup before entering. Set a timer. Walk away from the screen. Anything that forces a pause between the impulse and the action, because rationality lives in that pause. That's where you can ask yourself, does this really follow my plan, or do I just want to trade? Third, change what you measure. Stop measuring success by daily profit. Stop measuring success by number of winning trades. Start measuring success by plan adherence. Did you follow your rules today? Yes? Then it was a successful day. It doesn't matter if you made or lost money, because if you consistently follow your rules, the money is a consequence. But if you chase money directly, you'll break your rules. And without rules, you have nothing. Fourth, understand that trading isn't about being right. It's about being consistent. You will lose a lot. Perfect trades will hit your stop. Horrible trades will make money. None of that matters. What matters is what you do over 100 trades, over 1,000 trades. Because one trade is noise. 100 trades start to show a pattern. 1,000 trades reveal who you really are as a trader. And if you're trading on impulse, those 1,000 trades will show you a painful truth. You don't have an edge. You have an addiction. Look, I get it. The market is addictive. The adrenaline is real. The dopamine is real. The illusion of control is seductive. But you have to choose. Do you want the feeling or do you want the results? Because you can't have both. The trader who chases excitement in the market will find excitement and he will lose money. The trader who chases consistency will find boredom and he will make money. It's not fair, it's not exciting, but it's the truth. The market doesn't reward the smartest, it doesn't reward the fastest, it doesn't reward the boldest, it rewards the one who can stay in the game long enough, who can survive their own emotions, who can trade with discipline even when every cell in their body screams to do the opposite. Because in the end, the real opponent in trading was never the market. It was always you. You don't fail because you can't analyze charts. You failed because you can't control the hand that clicks the button. You don't fail because your strategy is bad. You fail because you can't follow the strategy when it gets hard. You don't fail because the market is unpredictable. You fail because you are inconsistent, and consistency doesn't come from technical knowledge. It comes from emotional control, from maturity, from patience, from understanding that trading is an infinite game, not a series of desperate battles. So here's your choice. Stay on the roller coaster. Keep trading on impulse, keep chasing dopamine, running from pain, seeking validation in every price tick, and keep losing. Or stop, breathe, build a plan, follow the plan, embrace the boredom, embrace the slowness. Accept that wealth in trading doesn't come from one big winning trade. It comes from getting 1,000 small trades right. And you'll only get 1,000 trades right if you survive the first 100. And you'll only survive the first 100 if you stop sabotaging yourself. The market is there. It'll be there tomorrow. It'll be there next month. It'll be there in 10 years. You don't have to trade today. You don't have to recover that loss right now. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just have to follow the process in a boring way, in a repetitive way, in a disciplined way, and let time do the work that emotion will never do. The roller coaster will keep calling, the impulse will keep screaming, but you don't have to answer. You choose. You always chose. The question is, will you choose the temporary relief that destroys you or the permanent discomfort that builds you? Because that's what trading is. Discomfort. And the one who learns to sit in that discomfort without reacting, without trading, without moving is the one who wins.